Hey guys, Donald Miller. So I wanted to go over real quick what a knob and tube rewire is, okay? It's being done a lot now for real estate. Knob and tube was installed in homes up to 1930. So no matter what age your house was built before then, you're gonna have knob and tube in it, okay? Just because that was the wiring method, all right? Even if you have had renovation work, even additional outlets installed, you're still gonna have the knob and tube in your home. Okay, it's gonna be the grid, the trunk lines, the hot and the neutral running up your walls that they splice into. That has to stay active. You could have 2 outlets on knob and tube in the entire house, and the trunk lines, the original trunk lines are active, and then you have a bunch of tails or cutoffs all stuck in your wall, which can be hazardous, okay? So a knob and tube rewire is basically when you remove or you de-energize all the cloth conductors, every one of them, okay? The armored cable in the basement. So if you have armored cable in your basement, okay, and it's like a darker gray, kind of like a cloudy gray, that's knob and tube, okay? Sometimes they go to black junction boxes, little 3-inch round junction boxes, and then your knob and tube can split off up the walls. What else it can do is it can actually go up the wall to your first outlet, and then from your first outlet, it turns into knob and tube from then on. Some of the hacks around here, or a trick to pass a grounding inspection, is they used to ground the armored cable to the box, okay? And you can't do that with that style of armored cable in that style box. There is no MC connector in there. It's not a legit ground. So it's more of a false ground, if you want to consider it anything. So that's what we find a lot when the first floor outlets are grounded, but there's cloth wires in them. It's because they use the armored cable as a ground. So we remove that. We remove everything. We remove your knob and tube conductors. We also remove the armored cable. Okay, so we de-energize it, we cut it back, we cut it as far back as possible, and then we bring Romex up. And Romex is a non-metallic sheath cable. It's the present cable used in 2018. 14 gauge for your bedrooms, 12 gauge for dining room, 12 gauge for your kitchen, basement, bathroom GFIs, kitchen counter circuits, your microwave, your range if it's a gas range, okay? 14 gauges for more of your bedrooms and lighting. So it's rewired. So now, when you're done a knob and tube remediation, if you're doing, I'm gonna lean up here. So if you're doing strictly knob and tube, you don't have to bring the house up to present day code. Okay, you don't have to have an outlet every 12 foot and then within 6 feet of every entrance, because that's what present day code is that no point along the wall can be more than 12 feet from an outlet. Okay, that includes doorways, any partition wall more than 21 inches also needs an outlet. These are codes. When you're remediating knob and tube, you're just remediating the cloth conductors. You do not have to bring the house up to code for a knob and tube remediation. You only have to replace the cloth conductors with present day wiring. Remove the armored cable in the basement, remove the single conductors all the way through the house, and remove it's a tarry, big fat conductor that has no ground. There's 2 cloth conductors in it. It was used for like 1925 to 1930. I think they actually used it all the way up to 1940. It's a 2 conductor wire. There's no ground. It's like a cloth guide wire in it, okay? That's knob and tube too. If it's used during the knob and tube era, it's kind of all compiled into the knob and tube. Knob and tube is not just single conductor, the knob and the tubes. It's the whole system. The whole system is dangerous. From the armored cable to that little box right next to your present day electrical panel, all the way up to the wire nuts in the 3rd floor. A lot of these knob and tube houses don't even have fixtures. They just brought the single conductors out of the plaster and then they hung a fixture. Okay, so you gotta put fixtures in. I've heard of reusing the 3-inch pancakes. And I'm not gonna comment on it just because, you know, I'm gonna just plead the fifth on that moment because the townships are different, knob and tube rewires are different, you know, but the most important thing is getting that ground wire everywhere, getting it grounded, getting all your boxes grounded, getting it rewired correctly, okay? But you don't have to bring your house up to code. You don't have to pay that expense. That's a lot more expensive of a rewire. You do have to make sure you're lead free. You have to make sure your environment is safe for the next person, regardless of who it is. You can't do a rewire, leave it a mess, and then if you have lead everywhere and there's a child here, if they find you, they're gonna get you. That's a lawsuit waiting to happen. All right, so you definitely wanna keep that. You wanna make sure it's a lead-free environment. I have more contractors showing up. We're done, we're wrapping up here now. I just wanted to kind of explain what a knob and tube rewire is. Donald Miller, thank you for watching. Take care.